Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Can from TubeBuddy, and I am excited to be going live today to be talking about YouTube's new studio. This is no longer Studio Beta, this is the official new YouTube studio, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Let me know if you guys can hear me fine. Had a little bit of issues trying to get everything up and running, so hopefully everything is looking good on your end. I know on my end, I was just trying to get the stream going. However, today, we are going to be doing channel reviews. We are going to mostly be focusing on the new Studio Beta and through it, how using your channels as ways to understand that data, how you can improve using data we can get from Studio and with data from the TubeBuddy tool. So it's going to be an amazing day today. So let me know if everyone can hear me fine. If you're watching this in the replay, thank you so much for watching us yet again. This will be going live to the replay if you're here live. Now, the studio is no longer in beta, so it is now the official new YouTube studio. Now with that, there is so many cool new changes that studio has, and I'm so excited to be showing it off today. Moderators, if you could be so kind and link in the comments how you can ask for a channel review. Keep in mind, if you're watching the replay, you're gonna have to come back for another channel review stream, but there is still valuable information you can be getting from this. I'm seeing a lot of different people. I'm seeing Paul Peck. I'm seeing a lot of just regulars, and it makes me really excited to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the new YouTube studio, and if you don't know how to get there, let's go ahead and transition. You can get there just by clicking the TubeBuddy drop-down menu, clicking on Analytics, and that will take us where we wish to go. So once here, you're going to go ahead and get to see a little bit of behind the scenes for some things on TubeBuddy. So if you've never really seen analytics, at least in the new Studio Beta, here's kind of what it looks like. If you go in through YouTube itself, you'll be taken to your dashboard. Here's where you can get kind of the overall snapshot view. It gives you your latest video. And one thing to note, and a lot of people I've found don't know this, is that YouTube is looking at your last 10 videos performance and giving you how your recent video did compared to your last 10. The reason that's important is because you want to make sure that this video compared to these is performing either as well or preferably better than. So once you're in here, I want everyone to know this too, is that you all at home can follow along and find the same information as we go through this Studio Beta. New YouTube Studio. Studio Beta is kind of ingrained in my head. Gonna have to keep practicing. New YouTube Studio. Say it with me, folks. But while we're here, what are your thoughts on the new YouTube Studio? Do you like it, or do you have some things you think could be done better? Let us know in those comments, whether in the replay, but more importantly, and I'm going to show you where you can let people know, is I want you to send feedback here. The people that are working on this have been really, really helpful. They've listened to a lot of feedback I've sent, and so that's what I would say. So, with that, as we continue to go through, we're going to click on Analytics. And I think it's important that, one, I make this a little larger for those that view at home following along, and two, it's important to get into your analytics so you can get an understanding of your channel. So, in the new YouTube studio, we can see just the overall kind of how this is structured and is working. So the overview is similar to what it was in Classic, where it gives you an idea of your channel's performance over a select period of time. Now, because it's almost the new year at the time of recording this stream, I want to focus on what has happened for 2019. So if you're a newer channel, let's say you've started for maybe a month ago, then focus on as much data as you have for this to work for you. Now, if you're an older channel like we are and like many people are, we're going to be focusing on one thing in particular, and that is 2019, because we have enough data to kind of know how to expect and see what's really worked for us. So if we go here, this is going to let us select a date range. We're going to select 2019. So as we look for this data, we can see how much information has been collected since January 1st, 2019. So as you can see, YouTube is showing us that our views are up 40%, our watch time's up 57%, our subscribers are going down in percentage, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Our content is really registering to new viewers, so we're getting views. If anything, this shows me at TubeBuddy that we need to make a little more subscribe call to actions, which goes into, and I promise channel reviews, and do not worry, our first person asks, why are people viewing my videos but not subscribing to my channel? And by looking at our own analytical data at TubeBuddy, we can kind of see it. So we're going to be pulling your channel up now. So this is growth with Vanessa. So just looking at your channel, just kind of from the first, so people are saying, whoa, the revenue is crazy low. Well, folks, we don't monetize the TubeBuddy YouTube channel. Fun fact, if you never knew that, we do not monetize the TubeBuddy YouTube channel. We do have $1.87 because we've had some streams that accidentally were monetized, and we eventually made them unmonetized, but that's a personal choice we here at TubeBuddy make. Pay no attention to that. We are an anomaly. However, as we look immediately, Vanessa asked, why are people viewing my videos but not subscribing to my channel? And I think this can be it's kind of seen here. There's no reason. I see grow with Vanessa, business building, fashion, nutrition. I know when you upload, but there's no reason to subscribe. And even on your channel banner here, Vanessa, there's nothing that says subscribe. Immediately when I look, you're taking them to, I'm assuming, a website, you're taking them to Facebook, to Instagram, but you're not encouraging them to stay onto YouTube. So as we look here, the thing is, you're getting views, but not subscribers. But I would argue, you have 78 subscribers, 16 views from a week ago, 47 views from a week ago. While I see what your channel is about, you're not set up in a way that makes it super easy for viewers to see the things in the business building, to see the things in fashion, and to see the differences in nutrition. Now, this is probably because you're a newer channel. However, it is one of those things where if I bring this over, what I want to show you is, where are your subscribers coming from? So in the YouTube Studio, the new one, we can go and see all of these broken down in different ways. So if we click on subscribers and we click on see more, you can see by editing through the YouTube Studio, and this is one of my favorite things to do, you can actually just hyper focus on where your subscribers are coming from. So to do this, you're going to click on options and we're going to hide this metric. Now, if you ever want to bring these metrics back up again, you can just click this plus and add any metrics. So as we do this, what I want to focus on is, where are our subscribers coming from? And you can do this too, Vanessa, and it's important that you know where your subscribers are coming from, because a lot of the time, people have no idea where their subscribers have come from, but they're just creating content. And reality is, if you don't know where your subscribers have come from for the year, it's one of the things that you need to consider. Now, when I look at subscribers here at the TubeBuddy YouTube channel, and again, you guys can do this at home, I want to see where people are coming from. So a lot of people came to and subscribed to our channel from how to get started with TubeBuddy. And as we know, for our own channel, most of it is how to use TubeBuddy to the fullest. And we're starting to see how to get more views does really well, but really it's just how to use our tools has always been the thing that have caused people to subscribe to TubeBuddy. So to answer your question here, Vanessa, you need to, even though you're a newer channel, you should have some data here. So let's go ahead to the about and see how old your channel is. May 15, 2012. So I'm not sure if you've had videos in the past. Obviously, all I can see is the front-facing videos here and your uploads. But the thing to keep in mind is, even if you only have this week's worth of data, it's something you can look at. So another thing I'd recommend is, place a channel trailer, which you can do via the customized channel option in the beginning. So that is something to consider. So people are asking, how do they get reviews? If you look in the chat, you can see a link to some questions, and there is how I'm pulling the reviews. And I'm doing it based on YouTube Studio Beta, as well as new YouTube Studio. I gotta keep getting that right. New YouTube Studio. Sorry, Tom, if you're watching this. However, it is a great product and it is being improved. Dusty Porter is joined. Welcome, Dusty. Great to see you. Welcome, Simply Beth. Great to see everyone joining us. I'm excited to keep doing these channel reviews. So what I would say for you, Grow with Vanessa, is you really need to focus on, 1, setting up playlists. 2, which seems to be a problem, is giving people a reason to subscribe, right? So I see it's called Grow with Vanessa, right? So the idea is growth. So a subscription reason to why people should subscribe to you is subscribe to grow a better business, Subscribe to grow your business, fashion sense, and fashion and nutritional sense. New uploads Tuesday and Saturdays. Hope to help you grow with every upload. Something like that, which makes a reason to subscribe, because as it is, you have not posted a clear one. So with that, I want to post, and if you guys want to review, you guys got to be active in this chat. A lot of times people ask, how do I get chosen? Well, the more activity I see, and as better your question is when I ask, how do you want feedback? Be specific. People are just like, give me a review. Well, that doesn't tell me what you need help with. Vanessa had a very specific question. Why am I getting views but no subscribers? And as we see on her channel, as we transition back, we can see that even here, she's not asking people to subscribe. So it's probably, I can see it in the videos, but are your videos connecting with the audience you're targeting? Which in this case is business branding, business building, fashion, and nutrition. So in that case, I'd check your thumbnail click-through rate. I would keep working, because as we released in our latest video, you need a catalog of content to get subscribers. You need to have uploads that hit with your ideal target audience. So for your grade, Vanessa, I'm going to give you a solid, probably a C-, which is a passing, because like I can tell you're new, I can tell you're doing things. What I would say is really focus on giving people reasons to subscribe, really focus on growing like that, and I think you can do something there. Now that we are back in our analytics, the next thing I want to show, which not a lot of people really touch on, is what is your click-through rate? And if you don't know what your click-through rate, it's very important to know. And a click-through rate is how many people actually click through and watch your videos. So if we look here, what I want to do is I want to break this down of which videos have our highest click-through rate. So from analytics, we go into reach. We're going to click on, impressions click-through rate, and then we're going to click on see more, which will pull this up here. Now for this, I'm going to keep all of this data, and the reason I want to see it in all of 2019 is to see what has really been doing the best, right? So one video that did very well for us was how to see tags on YouTube videos and channels with TubeBuddy, and this is a 7.6% click-through rate. Now a lot of people ask, what is a good click-through rate? If we go back only once, it'll show you actually right here, just basically with YouTube, what it's helping you understand is if we click learn more, it's going to tell us something right here. And this is a lot of the times where people get confused on click-through rate. Half of all channels and videos on YouTube have impressions click-through rate that can range between 2 and 10%. So 2 and 10% is the average click-through rate for over half of channels on videos on YouTube, right? Now our click-through rate is lower because we do live streams like such, and unfortunately live streams can kind of hurt your click-through rate because as you guys can see, our videos have a much higher click-through rate, but historically our live streams always have lower click-through rates, and that's just to the time of day, things like that, which segues into our next channel review. And don't worry folks, I have been working on finding ways to make these not only relevant to the studio, but you watching. So this next one is, what can I do between my hero videos to be more consistent on YouTube? So you may be wondering, how does this play in? So as we bring up our next channel for review, it does have a purpose. Don't worry, we will transition in just a second now. So this is Homeless Movings, giving secondhand films a second chance to be appreciated. Subscribe for new videos every month. So the reason we brought up click-through rate is because what can I do between my hero videos to be more consistent? Well, click-through rate really matters, and what you want is your videos to be served, where click-through rate comes into play. So this person, which is Homeless Movies, is creating hero-based content. And if you don't know what the difference is, hero-based content is content that is what YouTube would say is the content that is both helpful and makes your core audience interested. So hero is actually the hardest piece of content to create. There are 3 different types, which is helpful content, hub-based content, and hero content. So for Homeless Movies, they're saying they're making a lot of hero content. What can they do? Well, since I can understand your channel's Homeless Movies giving secondhand films a secondhand chance to be appreciated, subscribe for new videos every month. So if you only have hero-based content, what I would say is, one, take a look at your click-through rate for what has been successful, and two, find a way to where you can either make helpful based content around it, right? So what I would say is your whole mission statement is giving secondhand films a second chance to be appreciated. What is a way that you could then help people by maybe analyzing the films? Because one thing you do is you analyze them, but another way is like how you could have fixed, for example, maybe a popular movie you have done. And one thing I want to do is see what has been the most successful, and you guys can follow this at home. Now, I would say, since you're giving secondhand films a second chance to be appreciated, well, maybe this is where you can use like Cool Cat Saves the Kids, and you can use this as an example of a way for help-based content where you could then say, hey, here's how Cool Cat Saves the Kids could make more sense from a screenplay structure, right? Because you're giving secondhand films, within your own words, a second chance. So then you're helping potential future filmmakers see what a film you thought in a specific way went, and then you can give advice on what you could do to fix it from a story structure. So again, that's helpful because then you're taking a popular property, you're breaking down what it did right and wrong, and then how future filmmakers could then go in and do it themselves. Again, if you guys want a channel review, seeing a few people ask, you can go ahead and let us know through the form in the description. A lot of people says, my like list is hidden. I have a few others though, says Simply Beth. I love this channel. Homeless Movies has some great content, says HF's The Artisan Haven. Cyber Science just said, I just checked out my click-through rate and it's 4%. So 4% is almost smack dab in the middle at that 5%. So it's between 2 to 10%. So understanding your click-through rate, what I would do is see what has been your best click-through rate. And I'll show you now. And this does go into Homeless Movies. Because if you can understand what your best performing thumbnail is and what that content is, because click-through rate is more than, not what I wanted. But if you can understand what your best performing click-through rate is and what that content was around, then that really can help, right? So our best performing click-through rate was how to see tags on YouTube videos and channels with TubeBuddy, right? And so our second one was copy tags to the clipboard. And if you notice, our common thread between these two is tags, which goes into something I always tell people is, how can your content be connected that are performing well? Because usually there's a common thread, right? So tags, how to see who subscribed. So if we look here, how to see. So people want to see kind of behind the scenes hidden YouTube data in an easier way, which seems to be a common thread in our most clicked through videos in our top 3. Another thing is how to get TubeBuddy upgrades for free, how to install TubeBuddy. Like, these all make sense to me. So the more we do and the more we go through, you'll notice a common thread between your most clicked through videos. And what I'm seeing here for Homeless Movies is, if I go through, I'm seeing Cool Cat, I'm seeing Puss in Boots. I'm seeing a lot of these animated movies. Ironically, Puss in Boots is kind of around. And honestly, Kimba seems to be kind of cat themed, but that could just be, coincidence, not necessarily what is doing it. But the thing is, understanding that you could help your audience realize this is what makes this movie kind of bad and what you could have done to make it better, that's helpful from a screenplay standpoint, and that's helpful content, which is a recommendation not only by us, but by YouTube, by making help, hub, and hero-based content. So that's an easy way for you, Homeless Movies, to easily give more content. And you see, Homeless Movies had a very specific question, which is, I have a lot of hero content. How can I create more content? So by giving this channel review, it's looking at our analytics and looking at your own Homeless Movies to better understand. So as we transition, if I were to look at your channel and just give a review on the channel itself, I like how there's a call to action to subscribe. However, the main problem I have is, this is great. Like, this is your mission statement. But the reason to subscribe for new videos every month, well, that's really great to Homeless Movies. But what about, the audience? That's where it comes in. That's really kind of figuring out where to go. So when I see that, that's where I'd go. Roy's the Boy said, how can I see click-through rate? Very easy. As I said again, just quick recap. You go to analytics, you go into reach, you go to impressions, click-through rate, click see more, boom, you're done. So As I look at homeless movies, though, the first thing I'd say is I would not recommend the vertical here because it causes so much scrolling. And my thing is, to see all this content, I really have to scroll, when in reality, if it's more vertical, it's easier to see more content that you had. Now, one thing you've done very wisely is, you have Derek Savage movies, you've broken it down. What I'm seeing is you have a lot of content. So my thing is, my bad movie reviews, I'd actually change this from my bad and put homeless movie reviews. So if people are searching for your YouTube channel, they can then get your movie reviews. I would then, of course, keep that same practice in the popular uploads. And if you guys are watching at home, all the advice I'm giving to homeless movies here, you can implement on your own channels. So the later we go into these reviews, if you've been watching, I hope to see some of these changes. So Not Marley says, I'd love to see you out on my channel. I'd recommend putting in the form down below. If you want a channel review, that's how you do it. So as we transition back, just some of those consistent things. I'm not really seeing I'll see a description here, but not here. So just keep that consistency. It'd be my recommendation. Another thing I would say is, for your channel, I'd probably give it a C+, but let me know, what would you give homeless movies in the comments down below. So I'm always curious to what people say. Want to get the best kind of idea of what people are thinking. And the more we go through, the better. So I want to see some grades pop up in that chat. So that would be it. Ricky Zen in Living Focus says, do I do channel audits? I do not do them personally, but we do offer them through TubeBuddy. You can learn more on our website if you would like a channel audit. But I do a lot of free channel reviews like we're doing now, because I feel like that's a very good value I can provide back in these live streams for our audience. A lot of people are saying B-, B, agreed, C+. So we're getting some pretty consistent grades here. So I want to bring up our next channel we will review. So let's go ahead, and if you guys are wondering how I pick the channel reviews, it's kind of a combination of two things. One, what is the question you're asking? And two, in our Google form, it randomizes the question order, so it recognizes what I've already looked at versus what I haven't. So thanks to Google Forms, I make it to where every new one that comes in randomizes the order again, so everyone has an equal and fair shot. So I also then read what is written. If you only write, please review me, that's not enough for me to know what you want me to look at. So here's a great example of someone with a very specific question. And the question was, how well does my channel seem to optimize for my niche? So I'm assuming, because you put melanin babies, knowledge is power, I'm assuming it is a children's knowledge channel? So right off the bat, I would say if you want a little bit more clarity, I would make this background a little easier to read because it's kind of hard. I would say a stroke effect between melanin babies would be really good. Knowledge is power isn't bad, but I'm a little confused in what kind of content you produce. I see a lot of content. And your question was specifically, how well does my channel seem optimized for my niche? I can't easily identify what your niche is. As someone who doesn't know it, right? Like I see melanin babies. If I have to watch your content to get an idea of what your channel is about and I can't do it through a banner, then I think that's always kind of an interesting point. Now, you do have a channel trailer, but it says the letter B, words that start with the letter B for toddlers. So right there I can tell it's for toddlers, and you could argue maybe with this, I would say that there's a lot you can do to help, because usually it's parents choosing the content for the toddlers. So my first thing I would say is, with melanin babies, knowledge is power, helping toddlers grow and develop. Subscribe for new lessons each day, right? That's immediately a reason to subscribe, things like that. Another thing that's not well optimized is you're bringing people off site. You're telling us about your Instagram, your Facebook, but you're not telling us to subscribe on YouTube. You're bringing us everywhere but the platform you want. And then you could actually break down. So maybe you have learning the alphabet, right? Maybe that's a playlist. So as it is, I identified your niche, but it's a little harder to understand. Not Mother says submitted awesome stream. In the words of Melanin Baby, knowledge is power. It is. I'm seeing a lot of people says, I'm confused now. For content for kids 18 plus or kids or universal. So a lot of people have questions about Kappa. We shared a video on the TubeBuddy community tab today. If you're watching this in the future, I'll make sure to link it in the description for this replay. But there are a lot of changes coming. I am going to link to people who have done a lot more research than I have personally, and I think that'll be the best source for that. But back to the channel reviews for Melanin Babies here. I had a harder time understanding what your channel was about, and some people in the chat are too. So it's interesting to just see, like, you got to remember, if I don't know what your channel is about, this is a name, tells me knowledge is power, gives me an idea who's in the content, but I really don't understand like what your aim is. So to answer your question is, how well does your channel seem optimized for your niche? It's like halfway there. There's a lot more you can do to make it easier. There's a playlist you could put. There's so much just to make it a little easier. If I had to give your channel a grade, I'd probably give, based on what I'm seeing, another C minus. And of course, please let us know in the chat what you would give. Playworthy says, is this a family channel? It says here the words that start with the letter B for toddlers. So I'm assuming it's a toddler-based YouTube channel, which therefore would be a family-based channel, but that kind of goes into the question. A lot of the people haven't seen this channel, and a lot of us are having questions in the chat. So it makes it to where if we're having a hard time, imagine your future audience, right? So that's where understanding it really does come into play here. Clammy says, asked if I was on the right track. Don't think it was a straightforward enough question. It kind of isn't. It becomes more difficult because on the right track of what? More views, subscribers. The more specific you get, the better I can give for help. Because here's one, right? Review my channel is what this person asked. I can, but the more specific you are, the more I can help other people too. Because other people have similar questions. So this is a great example, which is what corrections or what are some tips that I can do to improve my channel? This is a little more specific, right? So with it, I can give better help and feedback. So what can they do to improve their channel? So with this is someone who I know is very active in our community. It just got pretty lucky in being selected. So Blackapino the Apple Guy. Tech tutorials, reviews, unboxing, vlogs. New videos posted every other Thursday. So the first thing I'd say is we know you are the Apple Guy. So I know you're doing tech tutorials, review, unboxing. I know when you're putting your new post every Thursday. But my question is, why should I subscribe for these? Because that's not incredibly clear here. The infamous Joel says, I have a very specific question. Let's see what that question is. The first thing I'm seeing here is create an overhead camera rig DIY solution. Well, the problem I have here is, what does that have to do with Apple, right? So your featured video is about creating an overhead camera rig, but then you tell me you're the Apple Guy, right? So I see a little bit of confusion between here. And this is where, going back to the studio beta, understanding how are people finding your content. So if we go into analytics, we go into reach, I'm going to make sure we have 2019 selected, because if you're an older channel, the more data you have, the better. How did people find your content? Through just things, right? So a lot of our search came from Google, our own website. You know, we know that for us, this is what people have found TubeBuddy for, right? So TubeBuddy, typing in TubeBuddy, how to see subscribers on YouTube, how to see tags on YouTube, how to see who's subscribed to you on YouTube, right? So to go to Blackapino the Apple Guy, if you have this as your featured trailer, it doesn't really hone into the promise of the Apple Guy, right? Like, what does this overhead rig have to do with what you're telling us? So that is the question. So it becomes a little confusing when that's the first thing I see. The next thing I see is how to transfer a photo from iPad Lightning to SD card. So immediately we're back to Apple. why you need this mic, what does that have to do with the promise of the Apple guy? So it's understanding that it seems to have like a lot of filmmaking content, which isn't a problem, but the problem comes into, I was promised that you're the Apple guy. What does any of this have to do with Apple-based products? And then when I look down, you ask, how can you improve your channel? The first thing you're recommending is your subscription. So I'd take this out, because the problem is, it's almost as if you're saying, all right, here's my channel, here's some content. By the way, I really like these people, so go check them out. So what happens if I'm on Irish Vlog instead of your channel now? So you're bringing a lot of people off your page to other people. And then I see your popular uploads, and if I look here, I see jailbroken iPhone 101, but then I see GoPro, I see how to remove photos on iOS 11. So you do have a lot of popular iPhone content, but it's hidden, right? Like, the thing I'm having a problem is that you're telling me you're the Apple guy, but the content you have featured has nothing to do with Apple. And then you have your subscriptions here, which is driving people off site. And then you have your popular uploads, which has some Apple content. So what I would do, and this is what, to answer your question, which was what corrections I need, or what are some tips I can do to improve my channel? Keep the focus on the Apple content, because if you're the Apple guy, which you're telling me and visually showing me, then there's a surprising lack of Apple content on your homepage here. So what I would do is I would make tech tutorials on Apple content a playlist, your reviews on Apple content a playlist, your unboxings and vlogs. You would say the problem is how do the vlogs could easily be your hub-based content, so I understand that. Finding a way to keep them interested in both the tech tutorials and reviews and the unboxings, like these three play together. The vlogs are the harder part. So what I'd recommend for your clarity on your channel is focusing on a playlist of Apple tech tutorials, Apple reviews, Apple unboxings, and then maybe for the vlogs, you could talk about how you're vlogging on your iPhone, trying to find ways to keep it relevant to the audience, something to keep in mind. Healthy Vibe says, how would I improve the landing page on your channel? Put that in that. Again, if you want me to take a look at your channel, I'm helping Black Capino, the Apple guy. So for you, Healthy Vibe, a lot of the stuff that I'm telling Black Capino probably applies to your channel. And that's kind of what we see throughout overall. So as we look here, so as I kind of look here, I would say make each of these a playlist. Focus a little bit more on the Apple guy part of your name, because that's probably why people are subscribing. But if you don't know why people are coming, that's where you can go into your SEOs, go into the new YouTube studio, go to analytics, reach, and then see how people found your channel through search, because that's helpful to figure out how people found you, right? Like, here's the views we get, right? How to see you subscribe, TubeBuddy tutorial, how to optimize YouTube videos, Brian G. Johnson showing up, how to find tags on YouTube, and we can see all the ways that people came. And then when we compare it to what we looked at earlier, which is the reason people subscribed, then you can make playlists that are there. But my problem is, Black Capino, the Apple guy, is that you told me you're the Apple guy, but when I come on your channel, it's surprisingly not a lot of Apple. So keep the messaging consistent. So with that, I would probably give this another C minus. I'm on a D plus to C minus here, only because like this is a big thing. A red flag is you should not be driving people to who you're subscribed to. So I'd remove that immediately. So that's what I would say. Clammy is saying, what is a call to action? A call to action is when you are telling your audience, Clammy, to do something, right? So if you guys are watching the stream and enjoying the stream, please leave a like, because it lets us know if you're enjoying this kind of content, if we should do more channel review streams like this in the future. So that was a call to action, Clammy. See how I'm using what you're asking and helping us here at TubeBuddy and helping the audience understand. A call to action could mean telling people, hey, if you joined this content, please subscribe to stay up to date. Here at TubeBuddy, we do new live streams every Wednesday. However, let's get to our next channel review, because we have a lot coming. So this is an interesting question from Brandon, and we're going to pull it up. So anytime I see an interesting question as well, something that we can look at from a different angle, right? So the money friends is where we're at. So let's transition. The money friend says, how can I rank higher? Using the keyword search isn't that great alone. So I would just first have to say, what? So the keyword research that you do is based on the content that you want to make and finding a way to be searchable, right? So my first thing here, when I look at your channel here, Brandon, because that's what I'm doing, is there is no channel banner, right? So I have no idea. Your name is The Money Friends. So I have no idea what your channel is about. I see what is a social media funnel and how do you set it up. So, okay, is this about social media funnels? Then I see a video that's not even titled. Then I see an emoji, which I'd recommend removing and maybe placing it on the back. And it's a step-by-step guide, how to set up your chatbot. So step-by-step guide, how to set up your chatbot. And I'm assuming this is on Facebook. Step 2, like these aren't that well optimized to start. So it's confusing because you said that keyword search isn't that great alone. My thing is, let's go here, right? Actually, let's go to videos. Let's see what your most popular is, just so I get an idea. Because and that goes to another factor of a problem I'm seeing, right? And this goes into a lot of channels that do this, is you need to have playlists. You need to have optimized your front page a little better, because as I see here, you have a lot more content than these 10 uploads, but when it comes here, all I'm seeing are these 10 uploads. So you can feature playlists, you can feature your videos, and I recommend creating playlists, creating a banner. Like there's a lot missing here. So the thing is, you said that keyword search isn't that great alone. The thing is like, I'm not seeing that the best practices of what we recommend within our keyword research consistently put here. So looking here, people are saying, Boomer Benefit says, I want Andrew to know that I don't expect him to answer all my questions I put in the form. I was just giving him options. Well, thank you for letting me know that, too. Appreciate it. I think a good advice, great questions, the money friends. The thing is, this is a great point from Playworthy. If I land on the homepage, I would leave right away because there is no categorization of the content, which is a good point. Eric Wade says, pro tip, save yourself time to the YouTube Academy before asking questions. Well, here's the thing. The point was brought up, keyword search isn't that great alone. But it is. Like, here's a great example, right? So I'm going to go a little deeper here just to show how I would do something, right? So step-by-step guide, how to set up your chatbot on Facebook. So immediately, I'm looking here. I don't see how to set up your chatbot on Facebook pages. That would be the first thing I would add as a tag. I would actually rechange this. I'd restructure the order. And this is probably what I do. First, I'm going to get rid of this highlight, because why YouTube? There we go. So the first thing I would do is get rid of the emoji step-by-step guide. I would first focus on how to set up chat bots on Facebook. And then I would do easy step-by-step guide, because that is searchable and compelling. And you get 500 characters. What I'm seeing is, I'm not seeing that consistent keyword research. I'm not seeing the 500 characters. I'm seeing things that aren't lining up with what we recommend in general here. So it's like the keyword research really does play into it, because if I were to do this video, I would have done keyword research on what this video is really about, which is how to set up chatbots on Facebook, which if I do some of that, how to set up Facebook, how to set up chat bots on Facebook is what you're targeting. So as I can see here, the search volume is poor, but the competition is pretty excellent. I know this is something people will probably be looking for. How to set up, or maybe we could just let's look if there's enough for chat bots on Facebook, right? Because if there is, which I'm pretty sure there are. There's a number of barrier entry. So it's understanding that the keyword research here, it's not that the keyword research alone isn't enough, is that I'm not seeing the consistency between your title, your description, your tags. So it's not that that's the problem. It's just, it seems like there's a lot of content here, but I'm not sure how well optimized it all is, right? Like that would be my first thing. And it kind of starts on your homepage, and it's kind of what I've seen on the one video might be consistent across the channel. So the more consistent you make your homepage, the more you feature, the better it is, the better I'd give. So now it comes to a grade here, and I'm curious what people in the chat are going to say here, because that is what I want to see. So what do you guys think for the money friends? So in the meantime, while we look at that, if you want to see the money friends, what people have found you for, this is again going into your analytics, going into reach, make sure the date range is correct. For us, it's 2019, but if you don't have 2019, maybe you do last 90. If you only have the last 28, use as much data as you have. For us, we're using 2019, gives me an idea of where people are coming from. And the more I get that, the more I understand, the better. Another thing you can do is see where people are getting suggested against, right? Like a lot of our top suggested videos is our own content. So I'm seeing a lot of D minuses, F, E, D minus, D, D plus, D minus, F, D minus. So we're seeing a lot of that, the money friends. So that would be, to answer your question is how can I rank higher? I'd recommend really identifying first what your video is about. Second, making sure you truly grasp the SEO concept from title, description, and tags. And of course, thumbnail. That's important too. And when you do that, that's when search really starts coming into play for you, because I'm not seeing that consistent level across the board. So with that, we're going to go on to our next channel review. So the next channel is, pulling it up, Sailing Kittiwake, which is, why is it so slow to grow? Given that we apply all best practices, 2.5 years and 18.5K subs only. So first off, sailing with, I'm just going to say Elena and Ryan. So you're asking a pretty good question, which is, why is it so slow to grow given that we apply all the best practices, right? So the first thing I'm seeing, and this is just from a search point, is I'm assuming this is the episode title or the episode number. I would not leave with that. I would say that looking here, your channel is very optimized for your core audience, which is the current 18.5 thousand subscribers. So to answer your question, why is it so slow to grow? If I don't know who you are, what can I get from this? It's about Elena and Ryan. Okay. There's a boat. It's called Sailing Kittiwake. So, okay, it's about sailing, boat. But what about you? Why should I subscribe? What are you going to do to help me? When are you going to be sailing? I don't know. People are saying only 18.5K, give that to me. So it's again, I always, and it's interesting to see because I feel that when you are doing YouTube, you may feel small compared to others in YouTube, but there's so many creators. Like I don't find 18.5 thousand small. I think that that is a really good core audience. I think anything above 10,000 is a really good core audience. But what I'm seeing here is a kind of lack of clarity, and that can definitely hurt a channel, right? So like when I look at your popular uploads, 6 things big sailing channels don't tell you, right? So that's interesting in that it's compelling. What I would say is I see that you have seasons, right? Like my first problem I have is you're doing the vertical, horizontal, and look how much work I have to do to even get here. Like that's something to keep in mind. Another thing is I see how to become a minimalist sail cruiser. I recommend maybe putting that higher Because what I'm seeing here is a lot of hub-based content, like Season 3, upgrading to a Blue Water sailboat. The Season 3 should be at the end. Because if I were to type in right now, Season 3 into YouTube search, how long would it take for this to show up? Comparatively, if I typed in upgrading to a Blue Water sailboat, that has a higher chance. Now if I click here, would you look here, your playlist already shows up. So I'd recommend putting that at the end. So when if people are looking for this, though the search volume is poor, it at least has a higher chance to show up for those really dedicated in the niche. Or niche, depending how you say it. I understand there are differences. Ratty Star says a good point. This could be a mega channel if it was more optimized for the non-subscriber. Because as it is heavily optimized for your current subscribers. You said you're following all the best practices, and that might be true on the uploads, though even then, one of the best practice tips is to not put the episode number at the start. It's to put it here. Another thing is, this is super compelling to your hub audience, but if I were to search this, how long would it take? The thing is, I'm not seeing a lot of helpful based content. This is a lot of hub and hero. Like, this is compelling. Like, how much does it actually cost to live on a sailboat? That is helpful for people wanting to know. And some of your most popular videos are actually helpful based content. So there's just this consistent thing I'm seeing where when you help, you actually have decent views. And this is where understanding what we said earlier, where your subscribers are coming from, really is going to help. So we go to audience, subscribers, see more, and then we go into what videos caused you to get the most subscribers, because that's the kind of content you need to be making more of. Now, I'm not saying you stop your vlogs or your seasonal based content, but it's understanding that if that's the majority of the content you're doing, you either, one, need to find a way to make it not only interesting to your core audience, but helpful to new people. Because I'm seeing a consistent theme, which would definitely slow your growth, which is it is so focused on people who already know the hobby or already know who you are. If I don't know who you are, it's hard for me to get invested. So with that, I'm going to give a channel grade, and I'm curious to what others will say here. David Gibson says 18.5K isn't bad at all. Again, it's all relative to where we're at. I'm seeing, what is the number? 300 hours of content to YouTube every minute. That's a ton of competition, says Adam's Exploit. Good point. I would give this channel, obviously, you've found a core audience, but there's just a lot for the YouTube side that I'm missing, right? So this is a great example where you said, given that we apply all best practices, there's a lot you're not. So I would give it a B-, because clearly you've identified an audience, you know kind of what you're doing, but there's always that room to grow, right? And for me, that's a solid B-. I'm seeing C+, B-, C+, B+ for me, C+, B, I'd give it a B. So yeah, a lot of people are on that B-. Again, for you, Elena and Ryan, it's so hyper-focused on the people that already know instead of the people who don't know. Because here's a sad fact. YouTube has said within their own Creator Academy, blog post, etc. And here, let's show it with data. I want you all, and let's do it together. How much percentage of your subscribers actually watch your content? Because this blows people's minds when I show them this. I always show people this. So if we go here, we go in audience. Here's the thing. Out of our subscribers for TubeBuddy, right? Which is almost 250,000, which thank you everyone for helping us get there. The amount of subscribers who have ring the bell and then have all notifications is about 27.1 thousand of our subscribers. So we're actually a little above average, where the average is 10%. We're slightly above, yay. But then all notifications were right below. So understanding that about only 5% of our subscribers have everything on, and about 11.1% check out. The thing is, about only 10% of your subscribers are going to check out all your content. You may have an abnormally high there for sailing kitty wake because your content is so focused for your subscriber. But the reality is, what that means is, if only your subscribers are watching, it means you're missing the opportunity for new people, which has been a common theme I'm seeing on your channel. So yeah, that's my input. Again, if you're enjoying the stream, please let us know. Always do appreciate it. So now let's go ahead and see. So this next one is an interesting question. So let's go ahead and bring it up. So the first part of the question is it attractive, and what should be done to change to keep people watching our videos, and how to break through the glass ceiling? Well, the first question is it attractive is subjective, right? Like the Earls family, new videos weekly. So this is a family-based content. I'm not the target audience, but I can say, I see it's about your family, and I see that there are new videos weekly, but what are you doing? Are you going to entertain me? Are you going to be teaching? Are you vlogging? I can't tell. I see it's about your family. I see there are new videos weekly. I see that you're posting and promoting off YouTube, but there's nothing here that tells me as a YouTuber or a YouTube viewer what to expect, only that you do new videos weekly. And I can, again, using reasoning, it's about your family, but the problem is I don't know what kind of content you're doing. So I see big announcement, the start of a new beginning. Well, this is kind of similar to the previous channel, where that's good for your core audience, but it doesn't tell me what your channel is about. And then I see uploads. I can't believe he did this. What's in my diaper bag backpack? Creating a neon sign, unboxing, blindfold face painting challenge, emergency trip to the hospital, last to leave the boxing ring wins. So it's a variety of content about family, but I would separate this into like your, like parenting based content, how to content, challenge based content, because as it is, I have no idea to easily tell what you're doing on the channel, and that's a problem. Ike Rott says the color of the banner is eye-catching. The banner pops, but I don't know what the content is about, says Adam's Exploit. Doesn't look too exciting, to be honest, says Hollow Sight. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. So, as I see here, there's just a lack of like what you're really focused on. Hey everyone, we're the Earls family. We created the channel to share the joy and fun we have together as a family. We love being a family together and would love all of you to join our journey as part of our family. Welcome to the family. I would honestly put welcome to the Earls family. New videos weekly. Subscribe to become part of the family, which is a weaker reason to subscribe comparatively, because like that's a lot of like value to you, but at least there's a reason to subscribe. Playlist would be nice, which is what Sheck is Sound Monroe. The Earls family says definitely good info, and thank you for and hopefully no one takes this too personally. Again, I'm just giving my honest opinion. Like it's always understanding like what is doing well and what isn't. And here's something I always show people, and I love this, and this is within New Studio. If you ever want to know what should I make playlists about, this is where going into Reach and seeing what YouTube is already suggesting the most from your content, right? Like how to get started with TubeBuddy, getting started with TubeBuddy, how to optimize a video. Like these are the ones that get us the most views from suggested. So what I recommend is, do you see a pattern, right? Like how to get started with TubeBuddy, how to get started with TubeBuddy. These two should be in our how to get starting playlist. And guess what? Check in our description of this live stream. They are. So it's understanding that if you need help with playlist ideas, maybe look at what YouTube is suggesting amongst your content. And if you want to do this on a per video level, let's do that in the new YouTube studio too. So let's look at this video. So we're going to click on the analytics on this video in particular. This video does very well for us. It's our getting started with TubeBuddy video. Gets a lot of subscribers, gets a decent amount of impressions. This is from since it's been published. But if we want to see, this is where how to get started with TubeBuddy. These are things people search for it. So how to use TubeBuddy to get more views on YouTube, TubeBuddy mobile now available, getting started. All of these suggested videos that it is suggested against would make sense, right? Because like how to get started with TubeBuddy, people want to know. And then maybe they want to see a quicker version, so 90 seconds, but maybe they didn't know there was a mobile version, right? So then we can see how YouTube would suggest the other videos to lead to this video and vice versa. So making a playlist out of those would make sense because it's understanding what people are clicking on through the videos. Again, a lot of this information is in the new YouTube Studio. It's there. It's just understanding how to utilize it and understanding what you can use it for to better help your well, in this case, to help the Earl's family, right? So I want to look at your videos and I want to look at your most popular, which goes into your layout of your channel isn't that well optimized, right? Like I can see that a lot of what seems to do very well for you is challenges, maybe. Pool full of Orbeez, 5 million Orbeez pool, big announcement, say yes, everything challenge. So like that should be a playlist. And again, my thing for you is having a way for people that don't already know your family to find you. And what you may have found is what's in my diaper bag is helpful. Helpful based content is what brings in new people, because a lot of times what vloggers or let's players or any like tech channel or any channel may get too into hub based content, which is content built for their subscribers. But if it's built only for your subscribers, don't be surprised when it's only your subscribers that are watching. And then remembering that about of your subscribers, only 10% of them are likely to watch. Well, then you can start understanding why the views may not add up, which is something I always have to tell people. Clammy says that her channel looks way better now that I made playlists. And again, it's understanding. Very excited about the direction our channel is headed since the Earl's family. All right, everyone, let's do it without looking. Can you tell that they're heading in a direction here, right? Can you tell what their channel is about? And let's give a grade. I'm going to give a grade of, I'm probably on a, I know you're doing well, but I'm going to give a D+ because there's a lot that can be improved. I don't have a lot of information. Like you clearly have a following, but it's not that well displayed, right? So I'm a D+. I'm curious to what people grades are going to be. Emelina Spinelli says, I learned a lot already, which is good. That's always what we hope to see here at TubeBuddy. If you ask again, I'm looking through the reviews now, how can I get more views? Then it's always a question of, that's not really gives me an idea. So I'm seeing C-, D, please be honest to help, C, D+, C+, D+. It's about the family, C-. I would think vlogs, C, D. So that kind of gives you an idea. And again, these are people that have no idea what your content's about. That's why getting this honest feedback is really important. Our next person is up for review. And this is Inside the Lab. Looking here, their question is, how is my channel branding? So, Inside the Lab, PC gaming on any budget. For enthusiasts, gamers, content creators, subscribe and learn how to build a PC and a community. Weekly uploads, Saturdays and Thursday, monthly streams. I mean, it's very clear. Inside the Lab, PC gaming on any budget. For enthusiasts, gamers, content creators, subscribe and learn how to build a PC and a community. Reason to subscribe, reason to be here. So the only thing I would say is it's very dark, and this might look better on like light mode. So let's check, because a lot of times, you know, it could just be the way I'm doing it. So my apologies on that. But I want to actually transition. As I transition, I want to make sure that I turn on light mode, because it might actually look a little better there. So as I transition back, Megan Hold'em asks, how important is a channel trailer? So channel trailers have varying degrees of, depends what you want from it. Like if you want a set video to describe what your channel is about, my problem with that is within a year it'll be outdated, so be aware. Channel trailer are really good because it is the first idea of what your channel is going to be about. I always tell people that choose a video that you feel is the most representative of what your channel is about. Some people use their channel trailer as a way to get new views because people are finding them through their channel. It could be a chance for that video to get views. Mr. Lum says, my eyes! Light mode I agree, too dark, very informative though, says Adam's Exploits. And as I transition back, it looks a lot better on light mode. So I think it works better, but in dark mode, it's really dark. So like that's something that I've been telling creators, like think about that, because now that there is the dark theme, like there's that to think about, and this is very dark in dark mode. So that'd be my biggest thing inside the lab. The one thing I would say is congratulations on 100 subscribers, but more specifically, you have inside the lab's most viewed uploads. I would say inside the lab's recent videos as well. I see PC gaming benchmarks. Another thing I would do is focus on searchability with these playlists as well. One thing we learned with the sailing with, I'm probably butchering that name, but we learned that the searchable part is important because they show up highly in search, and especially for content like this, they have a real chance to consider. Everyone's like, it's better in dark mode. What's that image on the left? I believe that is inside the lab putting a computer together, though this is an example of where it's really dark, so it might be hard to see. Tree says, who switched off the lights? That was me. I am guilty. Fully guilty of switching off the lights. But I would say, to answer your original question, how is my channel branding? On point. Maybe a little too dark in dark mode, but again, newer thing. I think the reason to subscribe is good. I think I like subscribe and join us. I love that it's an us. I love that you're focusing on that community. I like how you've identified who you're trying to help. You have when you upload, you have a reason to subscribe. You tell us everything we need to know. Maybe, and again, this is because we got to get nitpicky here, or as I like to say, nickpicky after Nick Nimmin. So if you agree, hashtag nickpicky. that was just a slip of the tongue once. I said nitpicky, and I was just like, I guess I have Nick Nimmin on the brain. But your uploads, I would say they're not bad. I would say, since you are talking about PC gaming on any budget, maybe you can have like a PC series on how to build the best content creator PC, best budget content creator PC, and that could be a series or playlist. People are saying nitpicky. I have just over 8K subs. I'm learning so much from this about smartening things up. The helpful hub hero thing is a real light bulb moment for me. I think I knew this, but I didn't know I did. People are liking the nitpicky parts. So I would say, based on your question, how's the branding? I think the branding's on point. I think there's some things you can tighten up. You're an easy B+ to A- for me, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Always curious. So, as we continue to scroll through, all right. So this person, I love what you asked. It was, why is only one of my videos getting significant views? But I just tried to put it in your link, and it's not redirecting to anywhere. So I would love to help you, but unfortunately, make sure it is a little bit better. The Happy Wheels one says the optimal length for a channel trailer. Honestly, as I said, it depends if you want a channel trailer to be describing what your channel is about. I would say use your channel trailer to best describe what you wish to do. So my thing is looking here, and if you guys are wondering, I'm pulling up future people to review. So because of that, make sure when you're doing anything, when it comes to like asking for a review, make sure the link works. Like that is probably one of the most important things I could say, because unfortunately you might miss out. So Mr. Llama, who has been very active in our chat, is up now, who asks, are my thumbnails and banner good? Can I improve anything? Loving the stream. Great question. Mr. Llama, I know you've been very patient, so thank you. So the first thing I would say is the thing I'm seeing is uploads every Monday. Monday, Minecraft, Subnautica, Friday, Fallout 4. I don't necessarily like how you're immediately telling me about Twitter and Twitch. Like, I'd like you to keep us focused on the YouTube ideal. And I would recommend giving us a reason to subscribe as well. So the first thing I see is I see your upload schedule, and I can gain from that you're gaming based. But it comes down to, why should I subscribe? And between these 3 games, right? What's the common thread? Like, I get Minecraft and Fallout 4 because there's crafting in both. There's like exploration. Subnautica I'm a little confused about. That's more kind of a story-driven game, so I guess there's a little bit of confusion there. That could also just be what you're playing right now. As I look here, your playlists, like, what about Subnautica? What about Minecraft Survival? Like, I would optimize the playlist a little bit better. I would say Mr. Llama's recent uploads, because trust me, that's a memorable name for sure. I would then, as I look here, I would see what content is really like resonating with your audience, because you do have multiple games. So like, if I look, I want to see what your most popular stuff is. So right here, your most popular thing is Linked Horizon in note blocks with lyrics, and then 30 Doghouse Design. It seems like your Minecraft stuff is your most popular, followed by some stuff. So you are a step ahead, that you do have a Minecraft survival, you have Subnautica, you have Fallout 4, but there's still some stuff you could do, right? Like, then I see The Sims 4, I see Far Cry 5, like there's a lot of games here that I don't even see mentioned here, right? So like, are you a Let's Player? If so, that's fine, but understand that Let's Playing is heavily dependent on that first episode in the search. The Happy Wheels one says, it's really interesting just looking at other people's channels and seeing what they do different to you and how you can learn from them. So my thing, if I look here, Mr. Llama, is to answer your question, which was, are my thumbnails and banner good? I can't say, are your thumbnails good? Because that's going to be dependent on your audience and if they click through to watch. I would say your banner needs to be updated, or maybe your channel does, to reflect all the content you have. I think it's very blue, and there is no reason to subscribe to you. And you tell me about your Twitter and Twitch, so what do you want me to focus on? Like, think of it this way. If I came up to you and I'm like, hey, I have a YouTube channel, if you could really check it out, but I want you to check out your YouTube channel. Also, I'm on Twitter, so if you could really help me there, but also after that, could you check out my Twitch? What do you want me to focus on as a viewer, right? Because a lot of YouTubers put all of that, and it makes sense. Why, Andrew, don't you have a gaming channel? I do. And I've learned a lot from having a gaming channel, because it is a primarily hub-based content piece of channel. Vel Dog's Kitchen asked, do I have any recommendations for your channel? If I get you in the form, which I might have if you have some good questions. So, mods, if you could please put that in. Eldon Experience says, I don't know if including a specific game as a banner is a good idea, since they change often unless you dedicate yourself to a specific game. So my counterpoint to that would be Eidolonian Experience. If you are constantly changing games, how are you going to build an audience? Because you've promised them one game and then you're switching, right? So my thing is, if you want to do lots of games, then update your banner. And I think a great example of someone who does that is, I'll just pull them up for example's sake. And they are a gaming-based channel who is very successful. I try to find ways to help using good examples, right? So this is a really cool channel that I've watched for a while. And what they do is they have their schedule. They make sure that you are aware of everything they're doing. And they keep their own theming while featuring new games in a style that's theirs. This is Steven Plays, if you're curious. So this is an easy thing that a lot of gamers could do. But the problem is like, if you want to keep updating, then keep updating your banner. Like, here's what I tell people. You don't get to be lazy on YouTube if you want to be successful. Like, the second your fundamentals start faltering is when you stop seeing what you want in like growth and development, right? Like, the fundamentals constantly matter. So that's why I recommend doing these things. So if Mr. Llama wants to update the games he's playing, then maybe I kind of like, and here's what I'd say. I like this style. Maybe we can keep like different games, different logos, different ideas, all within the plan that Mr. Llama has, right? Welcome, Evan Carmichael, who says, woo, TubeBuddy. So if I were to give this channel a grade based on, the question is, and I want to make sure I have this right, are my thumbnails and banner good? Can't answer the thumbnails. I can give an opinion. I think that I would focus a little bit more like on this one at the beach. I'd focus a little bit more on the beach itself and maybe put the 26 in this corner and just have whatever you are doing within the game. I've found that to work very well on a lot of Let's Play based channels. So that's kind of what I'd recommend there. Overall, though, if I were to give you a grade on the banner, it's probably a C- to a D+. But that's kind of where I'm at. Let me and let Mr. Llama know what your thoughts are on the channel. Again, Mr. Llama, thank you for 1, being so patient, 2, being so engaging in chat. Again, as I look through, I want to try to find people. Keep in mind that we have a lot of people. So this is from someone who has a very long question. So let's go ahead and bring it up. This is from Eric Waite. Let's transition. The recommended tags function does not seem to be working correctly with the new YouTube upload format. I had to go back into the video after scheduling it to post, then add tags, whereas before I immediately had tag recommendations. Any recommendations? So that is literally just because we are working with the new YouTube Studio. It was previously in beta, but because it is becoming the new YouTube Studio, we're ironing out a lot of the issues we had. That said, to give you recommendations on your channel, looking here, this is Eric Waite's Whiskey's Studies. So exploring the world of whiskey. Eric Waite's Whiskey Studies. Whiskey Ambassador. So I know it's about whiskey. I would be curious to maybe have, what I might do, I like the red brick, maybe also have some of your favorite whiskeys, just as an idea. Exploring the world of whiskey. Uploads, I see that there's a series here. You put the day front. I might put that in the end. I see you did a stream called the Whiskey Tuber Viewer Relationship. Again, when it comes to the days, that's not the most important information. I'd put that towards the end. Looking here, instead of having all of the created playlists you have here, I might lay them out similar to what you've done here, which is like Scotch whiskeys. And even then, I would write a description out. American whiskeys and bourbons, similarly, I'd put it as like a description. An American in Scotland 2018. So this is a good piece of hub content, California whiskey. So I do like how there are a lot of different things of whiskey. I might put the FAQs about whiskey a little higher so that helpful content is there right away. And one thing I could say for you, exploring the world of whiskey, Eric Waite's Whiskey Studies, helping you find the perfect whiskey, or helping you find the perfect whiskey for every occasion. Something like that, just to give a reason to subscribe. Again, always try to be there. I see that you are focusing on just the subscribe thing. Holosight says, reminds me of communism. That's an interesting depiction of a banner. I'll give you that. So Xanit says that they were told to change the thumbs. But my thing is, if you're told to change thumbs, what's that based on? Because if you're going to change the thumbs, you should have data. And I would never tell someone to change thumbs based on my opinion, because I'm not looking deep in their analytics. Like, I'm a surface level. So anytime I give a recommendation, if you want to test your thumbs, we do have A/B testing in TubeBuddy, and let's transition, because I think this is a good point. To give you a grade, by the way, Eric, before I forget, let Eric know what you think of the channel. Very strong. Seen the channel before, I believe. Maybe I can't remember if I've done a stream. I've done a lot. But I'd give a very solid B-. And the only reason is, like, I'm going to get nitpicky, where it's like I want to see descriptions on all of these. I just want to see more helpful uploaded content, and just not uploaded, but like helpful more up front, because I know you have those FAQs and just things like that. But to go on to what you're talking about, I don't recommend changing thumbnails without data, because I may not like a thumbnail, but guess what? Your thumbnail may be killing it with the ideal audience. So anytime Xana says they all look the same, Bob mentioned it to me. Well, they may all look the same, and in that case, finding a way to organically change it makes sense. But here's the thing: if your thumbnails are performing, that's where it becomes more difficult. So I'm going to show you a cool feature within TubeBuddy. It's called A/B testing. So we're going to go to TubeBuddy dropdown, A/B test, and I'm going to show you some behind the scenes. First, I want to make sure I don't accidentally show sensitive information. I want to show you some A/B tests we've done here at TubeBuddy, because I want to give you an idea of how you can see what has worked, right? And not all the times, like sometimes you may have some thumbnails you thought would do better, but in reality, you had your older ones do better, right? So like we've been testing, and we always A/B test. So here's an example. This was a test. This video does very well. And even though I kind of like the new thumbnail better, the older variation still did better. Now, Evan Carmichael, who was in the chat earlier, will tell you about statistical significance, which is very important. So as I look here, what we found is that the click-through rate didn't do as well on the new variation. Now, I did personally like how the variation looked, but guess what? I had less clicks, I had less people checking it out, and in the end, it comes down to you want a thumbnail to perform better, to get more views, reach, and for the audience that you're targeting to do better. Zookstar says asking for reviews is not allowed, right? No, it is allowed, but you got to go in the right place, which is the form in the description down below. But to answer to what I would tell you, Xanet, is if you're doing anything with thumbnails on YouTube, anything, if you're going to change them, I would A/B test them, and I would see, one, what is working well for you, which you can find again in your analytics. We go to analytics, we go to reach, we go to impressions, click-through rate, we go to see more, and here is the best click-through rate, right? Like how to see. I don't know why it's giving me unknown, but all right, YouTube. Guys, we broke YouTube live if we transition over. So I'll show that once again. Go to analytics, impressions, go to, well, that's not what I wanted. See more. Then once we are in see more, we go to impressions, click-through rate. We can click here. And here we can see what has done the best, right? And then look at thumbnails that have really connected, right? These thumbnails, if you notice, none of our new style actually are in these top spots. If I want to look, really, wow. I guess in my apartment complex, they decided now would be the optimum time. All right, well, that's what you get when you let your heart win. But here's where we go to the first time where one of our better click-through rates is one of these. And keep in mind that when you're doing an A/B test, that's where you find that data. And Xana says that's cool, but the retention was better on the poorer CTR thumb. And again, that could just mean, keep in mind, the people that watched here may have just enjoyed the content more. The thing you got to remember is when someone clicks through, what it showed us is the person that was looking for how to promote YouTube videos and all your videos in it, they really resonated with that video. So that thumbnail did a good job there, but it was getting less impressions, it was getting less served, and yes, it did have more watch time, but the less it's being served throughout all of YouTube, which means the click-through rate, meaning that's how much YouTube was promoting it, is kind of where I had to look there. And if we were gonna really let's look at watch time per impression, it was actually lower. And if we look, it had less impressions and less click-throughs. So this one was getting served more and more people would click through it. So it's just kind of understanding what the data is saying. So that's what I would say. Let's go back to more channel reviews, though. Sorry about the dead air, as someone said earlier, trying to keep that. Okay, so I'm not sure if this link's going to work. We can find out. So that link didn't work. I love the question, but something I would keep in mind. And the question was, how can I find more topics to rank for on my affiliate marketing training channel? It seems oversaturated and the bigger channels have the keywords all locked down. So I don't know what your channel is. The link provided didn't work. But I do know a little thing about SEO. And so with that, this is a great time to kind of showcase this, because we had someone earlier who said they were doing a lot in SEO, but they ended up not really doing that much. So with that, I want to kind of give a little bit of transition, which goes into saying if you want a channel review, make sure your link works. So I can give the question, which is, how can I find more topics to rank for on affiliate marketing training, right? So let's go to what you're about, affiliate marketing training. So these are the things that people are searching for, right? Programs 2019 in Hindi, free online affiliate marketing for beginners, tutorials, right? So I know that affiliate marketing training has about 5,000 searches per month. Not bad at all. I know that the competition is fair and that the optimization strength is very good. What this means is that you can come in with a pretty well optimized video and have a really good chance of showing up. Megan Hold'em says, is there such a thing as niching down too much? Absolutely. So here's something, here's would be niching down too much. Affiliate marketing training for people in the middle of Arizona on a Wednesday. I've seen people target a video like this, and they're going to get okay results, but guess what? That's too specific. That is way too specific. So yes, you can get way too specific. You can be niching down too much, right? Because really the niche you were going for is affiliate marketing training, but by adding in for people in the middle of Arizona on a Wednesday, like you could say affiliate marketing training for Arizona is a more specific niche, but then by adding on a Wednesday, you've made a niche so specific that I don't think you're going to have a easy time getting a lot of searches for. But if we look at affiliate marketing training, you said it was a little oversaturated. So let's look at that, right? So we have, what I would say here is affiliate marketing training, how to make money with affiliate marketing training. So this is very searchable and compelling, right? Like how to make money with affiliate marketing. But affiliate marketing training actually isn't that optimized. Like a lot of this is affiliate marketing tutorials for beginners. Like here's the first one where we have an exact match for affiliate marketing training. So that's something to keep in mind. Simply Beth brings up a good point. Be grateful for the subs that actually watch your content. Be careful about attracting people who sub but never watch your stuff. That can hurt your CTR. Absolutely. Affiliate marketing MC. Like I'm seeing a lot of things on affiliate marketing training, but what I would say is affiliate marketing training for beginners. Let's look there. Might be different in the results, might be worse. Let's see. So it does have less searches per month. The barrier to entry is actually a little higher, which is about 1.99K. This is our barriers to entry, which is the lowest video view count found. So what this means is this is the lowest view. This is averaging the views per your channel at the moment, if you're wondering where we're getting this. Currently, we have it to set to your last 5 recent, but we're actually changing it to the way YouTube does it, which is 1 in 10 out of your most 10 recent videos. So to the person saying affiliate marketing training for beginners or affiliate marketing training is oversaturated, it's finding ways that you can be searchable and compelling. And here's a hard truth is like, the more you do stuff for this and the more you know your niche and you try to find your audience, you got to be helpful, and it's going to be hard to stand out, but that's the thing about YouTube is your content good enough to hang? And if not, that's where looking at your audience retention, looking at those things and improving performance really matters. Sorry I could not look at your channel though. Hopefully that does help you with some ideas. Trying to looking for a new person to look at. All right, well, this person got me just by An interesting question. So, interesting questions will get you very far. And in full disclosure, I've seen your channel before, Ryan A. Raymond, but I get about 60% of my viewers from subscribers. I've heard most people only get about 10%. What method would you use to analyze videos to identify ways to reach new audiences? So I would go back to the analytics here, Ryan A. Raymond, and I'd go to analytics. And I would, for you, I would look at your last 90 days instead of the year and see where people are kind of coming in, right? Like, let's look at reach. Where am I finding these people? So for us, it's TubeBuddy, how to optimize YouTube videos, TubeBuddy tutorial, how to use TubeBuddy, right? So for you, what I would look at is, since you're doing a lot of tips and tutorials to grow your print-on-demand t-shirt business, subscribe to grow your print-on-demand empire, like, you're really focusing on how to grow your print-on-demand t-shirt business, right? Like, that's what your value proposition is. You're trying to bring in new people. If you're trying to reach new people, what I would say is print on demand, people may not know that's a thing they can get into, right? So, like, how to make money selling t-shirts may be different than print on demand, right? Let's look that up in Keyword Explorer, because that is something to keep in mind, because the way people search. So, how to make money selling shirts might just be a different way to think about it, right? So maybe how to make money selling shirts online, similar to what you're doing, but this is where, looking at the data, only about 90 searches per month. So when I look at that, I would say the problem I have with it is, while it is kind of being searched, if your click-through rate on that video is 10, and that's the higher end of average, you get 9 views a month per search, might almost be too specific for what I'd recommend, but it is a different way how to make money. If we go back to selling shirts on Amazon, like, maybe that has different results, right? Well, this has different results, and I don't see a video from you, Ryan A. Raymond, and this is just a different way to state it. And I do think that you have an audience that genuinely cares about this. So it's just how to make money selling shirts. That's a great example of a way you could bring people in organically that fits to what you are doing on your channel. And I think that is a natural fit, you know? And I think that's important to keep in mind. So with that, I would say, always when you're doing something like that, you want to make sure that you are providing value in ways you may not have thought people might search for something. So that's what I would say. So I want to show you, everyone, an amazing section on TubeBuddy's forums where you can get feedback if you're wondering for your channel, a video. I'll put a link in the chat if you want to know how you can get feedback. But keep in mind, before you ask for feedback, you got to go here, and you must review someone else's post. If you don't do that, you won't get approved. Body illumination brings up a great point for Ryan A. Raymond. Maybe use passive income niche. Like, yes, you start with print on demand, but it's a good way to get there. Ryan A. Raymond gets in easy for me, because he's been working hard on it. And that's kind of the truth of the situation. But we unfortunately have to get going, folks. I do appreciate everyone taking the time. We have gotten a lot of amazing things. If your channel was not gotten today, I do apologize, but there is the amazing TubeBuddy forums where you can ask for channel feedback on either videos, channels, etc. I'm Andrew Cam from TubeBuddy, and we wish you all the best on your road to YouTube success. Thank you, everyone.